So this morning I decided to go out and try another video on using the sun oven because this morning it was a beautiful clear sky, hot, and just got out there and I made a depression cake, which I'll post the recipe down below. And it's just basically a lot of talking head of me showing pictures of the sun oven and me just talking. So I hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully you got something out of it. But just I've had this All-American sun oven for many years now, and I've not really used it but just a handful of times. Tried making some casseroles in there, and I have baked a couple of things in there before, but each time I get it out, it's kind of like I relearn how to use it again all over. I just never seem to use it consistently. And so again, it's probably been 3 years now since I've gotten it out, trying it one more time, and want to maximize the sunshine that I do have here in Florida, just to see if I can put it to good use. But here is the video on the earlier footage I got. I think I just hit the photo button instead of hitting video, so the talking part that I had then just didn't come through. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this and maybe give you an idea of what the sun oven can do, and I do address some of the issues and problems that I do have with it, even after all these years. Getting the temperature up to snuff. I can't get a temperature up there consistently high, and plus that chemical off-gassing from the plastic. It's just a problem. So anyway, hope you enjoy this. Thank you. Okay, the cake has just gone into the oven. Our markers are lined up perfectly with how they should be placed on the sun. I put it in just shy of 350, probably about 340. And you should have seen the steam come out of the oven when I opened it up. Unfortunately, it does have that funky smell to it that I can't get rid of, so we're going to see if the company has any advice on how to get rid of that, or any other users do. But this is exciting to see. But this is also a modified recipe. I used self-rising flour instead of using vinegar well, I did use vinegar instead of using baking powder and salt. So, but anyway, we'll come back in a little bit and see. I opened it up, closed the door, and it didn't seem to lose any temperature at all. So we'll see how it works from this point. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, a few minutes into this, and it looks like we are still maintaining about 330, 340 degrees. Cake looks like it's rising. I mean, it's starting to puff up a little bit. I'm not going to shake it, because that'll knock a cake down, and our indicators are still spot on. So it doesn't look like the sun's moving too fast. I guess it doesn't move too fast this time of year, but that's where we are right now, and so we'll come back again later for another update. Wow, and here we are about 25 minutes into the baking process. The cake is risen as far as it's going to rise up, and now it just needs to brown, but I don't think the sun oven is actually good at browning, which is also actually okay with me, because I don't like browned bakery products. I kind of like doughy, actually. The temperature has dropped a little bit. We're down to 320. Yeah, we dropped to 320. Don't know why. There's been no cloud cover. Nothing's changed, and I have not moved this at all, and it's still right on the points where it's supposed to be. I don't know if you can see where the indicators are there, but it looks like it's yeah, I guess it's because of the moisture content in the cake. I guess the steam or something's making the temperature drop, or I don't know why. But I'm going to let it go in there. You're supposed to bake it for 35 minutes at 350, so I'm probably get another 20 minutes or so at 320, and we'll see what it's going to do. But so far, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we're probably about 45 minutes into the cooking process. Temperature keeps dropping because you can see that steam. All that moisture content, I think, is just bringing the temperature down. We're down to 300 now. We are still right on the spot. We're still right on it. Our indicators are pretty good, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and do a knife test. So pardon me while I check this out. Okay, I'm going to have to do this with holding the phone in one hand and just, woo! Oh, that got me. Oh, shoot, fire. Okay. All right, I gotta put the phone down. Hold on. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna open that up. Okay, there we go. And now I'm gonna. It's still a little gushy. It sunk in the done on the sides. Still a little gushy in the middle. Yeah, it didn't rise up too well, but not bad. And I am going to secure that again. We're going to let it go for just a little while longer. And just see if we can't get it done in the middle just a little bit more. Which the sun's right on it. It's looking good. And we'll just see if we can let it go just a little while longer to get that middle part done and not get it too overbaked. All right, bye. Okay, so this is the finished product that came out of the oven. The recipe called for about 35 minutes. This is pretty much done. It went in for a little over an hour. So it is, I probably should let it sit for a little while. The outer edges look like it got pretty well done. I think if I left it in there a little bit longer, this would have gotten even better. But the knife test came out with it, you know, and there's not much, it's kind of thin in there anyway. So it didn't rise properly, which means that the temperature didn't get hot enough, which we knew that going in. It was up to 340. It's supposed to be 350. Preferably, I would have liked it a little higher than that, but couldn't get the temperature up any higher than that. And the longer it stayed in, the more the steam escaped from the cake, and it just made the temperature keep dropping. When I took this out, it was up to 280 degrees. So, I mean, that's barbecuing it is what it is. I mean, that's like slow cooking, not even really baking. So I have done coffee cake before. This is actually not my first baking attempt, but it was probably about 3 years ago where I did a coffee cake in the sun oven, and it came out just fine. It had a crumb top. And like I said, I prefer things like that without being browned. I like it. I do like my baked products to be opaque like that. But this is just one of the challenges. Better than nothing. I mean, better than not having anything at all. And to compare product, I'll show you. Hold on. This is the very same cake that I made in my toaster oven last night. So you can kind of tell. This is the finished product. Of course, this had been sitting overnight. This is the finished product from a regular toaster oven, and this is what the sun oven product came out looking like too. One caveat though, this had all-purpose flour, baking soda, and salt. This one had, I just used self-rising flour instead of either one, you know, I just substituted those three. So I'll do a taste test later and just to see how this comes out. So I may just let it sit out for a little bit, or even put it in the fridge. I like cold baked stuff too. I know I'm a little strange, but I'll come back and give a little review on those later. Thanks, bye. Okay, y'all, well, it seems like I told a fib. I did not just keep it out to cool. I actually went back and chucked it back into the oven, and that means it was about an hour and 45 minutes total that this has been in, approximately. It did bake it up a little bit more in the center, so it got a little bit more done, but you can see it's starting to crack up through here now. So it's getting a little bit cracked and dry. And that little bit where I sampled right there actually tasted pretty good. It was actually not too bad. And as far as making this, well, it's already a shelf-stable recipe, but making it enhanced as a shelf-stable, if you wanted to use evaporated milk instead of water, which this calls for, that might be one option. I like using this better with self-rising flour as opposed to the all-purpose version. And as far as putting this out in the oven, I mean, you know, you really can't overcook it. Like, I mean, I guess you can, and it'll probably dry out a lot, but we'll come back and we'll do another. No, I may not come back. We just maybe leave it at this. But if you just want to see what this is like, this is the end product. I mean, it's not like you can taste it anyway. But pretty fluffy there. You know, not bad. It's got a good flavor to it. It is a decent product, I would say. And here's the middle section. I mean, it's crumbly. But think about what you're getting here. I mean, think about the situation in which you're going to eat this cake. This is going to be, and when times are hard, when times are hard, ooh, that's actually pretty good and moist. I like that. See, that's how I like my bakery products. I like them a little bit gooey and a little bit on the doughy side. So it's got that little tackiness to it, that little doughy tackiness, which this does too. It's not bad, but this has just a weird after flavor to it. That baking soda taste is just too distinct and icky. I like this much better with the self-rising flour. Think about the circumstances under which you will eat this, and also the circumstances under which this was made. This was made during a time when resources were very hard to come by. Well, depending on where you were, actually. I mean, my daddy's family, they were poor as Job's turkey, but they had milk and eggs all the time, you know, and butter. But this doesn't take any one of those things, and it also makes a nice shelf-stable recipe. But this is what a sun oven can do. At the very least, you have at least a way to bake. May not be ideal. Like I said, I've done casseroles and things in there, and it's made it, the aftertaste, the chemical off-gassing from the plastic on the sides is just so strong that it does tend to flavor the product, even when it's covered up, you know, and covered up, it still imparts a flavor. This, ironically, did not really impart a flavor to, I'm going to try it now, hold on. You know, it does a little bit, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the taste of the cake, but if I can't tell, then it's not going to bother me. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. So anyway, that is depression cake made in the sun oven. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.